Hello, I'm Aperture Grills, and with me is TBCR,
Hello, hello.
and this is a video of our co-op completion of Marathon 2 Durandal, a 1995 first-person shooter made by Bungie, originally on the Mac and later ported to PC, and now uh, has a cross-platform source port that we're playing on, so we can play over the internet. This video, or the gameplay, was recorded at AGDQ 2018, so we were able to play in the same room. Normally, we live across the country from each other, so the lag is a bit bad. But obviously, if we played this in a marathon, we would have low latency, so we'd be able to play similarly to this.
Yeah, what you see is basically what you would get in terms of performance.
Yep.
That would be the right
Uh,
phrase, right?
yeah. Now, I should mention there's a few things that we found in this game since this gameplay was recorded, so it wouldn't look exactly like this, but it'll look very similar. Yeah, either way, you have to play all of these levels. So I guess without further ado, I should start the video and the timer, and we can talk about what you see. So I'm going to start
Oh
it
boy.
in 3, 2, 1, go. So the first thing you'll notice, you can see on the right screen, which is TB's screen, you can see me, the other security officer with the pink shoulder badges. Um, Now, almost every level of this game has some way to speed it up in co-op, and this level's objective is to place 2 chips in 2 slots, and we just did that in parallel. So that already makes this first level quite a bit faster.
And with each level, we kind of, depending on what statistics we have in terms of ammo and health and whatnot, we each kind of switch places on what we do for the
Yeah,
level.
there is a little bit of playing on the fly of the 2 different routes that we'll select for each level. Sometimes the random spawns or how much ammo we have will affect that. Um, on these first couple levels, they're fairly straightforward, and so we don't really vary what we do, but
Yeah,
you'll
these are
see that later.
basically teach players who've never played the original Marathon to mission types. Like this is exploration. The previous was just get to the end, even though technically it was exploration as well.
Yeah,
And the first was a repair level.
yeah. So this level, the story is you're like exploring an ancient alien ruin to try and gain information. And so what that actually means is that before you can teleport out, there's certain places that you have to stand, and we know what those are. So we just go stand on all of them and then finish the level. Now this is the first real roadblock. This introduces a new level type called extermination, which means we can't leave until there's 8 or less enemies left alive on the map. And this can actually prove to be a problem because the way you're supposed to play this level is to flood this basement that I am currently running through while Brandon waits for me with lava. And uh, because of the way that it handles AI, only so many monsters can be active at once. Oh, I actually messed that up here, but it
Yeah,
doesn't really
that's
matter.
actually
It just,
easy to mess up.
yeah, it's easy to screw up that jump, and then I just meant that I had to restore my health here, which costs a couple seconds. Um, right, so the game can only keep track of so many enemies at once, and it'll deactivate the ones that you're not near, and then once they're deactivated, even if they're underneath lava, they won't die. And so you can soft lock yourself on this level by getting stuck in a situation where there's more than 8 enemies living underneath the lava and you can't kill them.
Now,
So
meanwhile, I'm activating the other half of the level.
yeah,
Uh,
so on this difficulty, kindergarten, the your human friends actually can effectively kill the enemies. So he's just running around waking them all up, so they'll start doing their job.
on Total Carnage, you have to give more of an effort in lowering
Yeah,
the numbers of enemies.
yeah. On Total Carnage, you're pretty much gonna have to do the work yourself. This game, compared to Marathon Infinity, is much more combat heavy on Total Carnage, which is why it takes quite a bit longer and isn't as marathon safe as like the category I did for SGDQ.
Well, I would say this one's more combat intensive than in Infinity's
That's what I'm saying.
Kindergarten.
Yeah, yeah. This is also more. Yeah, just generally, this game has more combat to it.
All
This
right,
level is
so
very short. I just need to hit these 2 panels, and then TB can teleport us out.
I'm going one way and he's going another way, and I about died from a grenade blast. Oh boy. So I'm going to pick up a 2x health. This is relevant for a later level. Like 3 levels from now.
Meanwhile, I'm going to do the objective.
I also pick up a neat fusion pistol, which is useful for another level up ahead.
Yes. So that's the actual goal that I just did, is shooting that switch with a grenade. And then I've been doing more and more of this, especially in solo runs. You can use the assault rifle to propel yourself down hallways by shooting backwards.
You did do
It
that during your Total Carnage run on
Yeah.
Infinite. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've just like, as other ways to make the game faster start to get incorporated, that's, using your spare ammo to boost yourself is important to shave off those seconds.
Okay.
Now
Now, meanwhile,
here,
what was
I'm waiting for TB to do something, which is to place that switch under the pool, or the place the chip, and that allows me to go to the end. So that's why I was just able to wait and get health. And then I actually missed an elevator cycle here. You can see I was trying to fire up to force myself down into the doorway, and I didn't quite make it. So
luckily he can start the cycle again by being in the same polygon as the platform.
yeah, if you
Um,
stand in the platform, it'll crunch you, and then it turns over faster rather than going all the way to the top and stopping.
because I think it takes a full second before it starts again if you don't.
Yeah,
So,
it's definitely saved several seconds to have your head get bonked. Here's another
all
very
right,
short level.
I kind of botched the trick, but Aperture got it.
I just swam through the lava,
Oh,
and then you just shoot that switch, and then it turns on this elevator, which takes you to the end. So here we both just kind of stand and stare at each other.
the customary backing into the elevator.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the level. No, this is not the level. Next level is what I was referring to, but
Mm-hmm.
this level has some interestingness to it.
Yeah, so
Um,
TB is going to go directly to the third of 3 panels that we have to smash. Those panels open 3 doors to get to the end terminal. And as we discovered, even if you could somehow warp through these doors, the game just gives you a little message saying, "Nice try, cheater." Uh, so you
is that
do really have to.
the message was? Wow, it's really cool how you walk through that door, but I'm still not gonna let you leave.
Yeah, Bungie
Okay,
definitely
so
have had a sense of humor since their inception. Okay.
the health was mainly for whoever was up to it to do a grenade jump up the elevator, so we didn't have to activate it. But we didn't have enough health, so
Yeah, well, in co-op, it doesn't make quite as big of a difference to jump up that elevator because you can have one person stand on it while the other um, activates it, so you don't waste a cycle. And here, I actually ran out of the primary weapon ammo for my assault rifle, so I had to do this a little differently than I normally do. But
which
then
is fine
right here, there's a way to
because
get more ammo. So
particularly we do a particular trick in that room where we take the assault rifle and hover backwards, but there's a chance that a compiler, which is the robed guys, can get in
yeah,
your way and you can fall into the lava pool and haha.
so TB is going to hit the switch that he needs to so that we can finish the level, and I'm going back to the beginning because that's where the exit is,
This brings
through
up
this door.
a limitation of the engine. You can activate switches that are behind platforms,
Yeah,
which is what I did to complete the mission objective.
yeah, it looked like he just walked up to a wall, but he was actually hitting the action button and turning on a switch.
You can do this in some levels later on, but it's not used as much in this game.
Yeah. I mean, really, there's only a couple situations where it becomes relevant.
Yeah. Marathon Infinity has like 3 switches you can do that with, but
Mm-hmm.
this game, for the most part, you only do it with like one, I think.
So there's 3 cyborgs that come out of that little T, and almost always I have to stop and kill them. If
Okay,
you get
and Aperture's hitting the thing. There we go.
Yeah, that's another
Or
exploration level, so I was just making it to the one place you have to stand. Again, this is also an exploration level, and we divide up the work here.
and the objective, according to the terminal, says you need to read the terminals. As with the last level, we found you only have to be literally in the polygon next to the
Yeah, you just have
terminals.
to stand near it, because there's no way that the engine can actually check if you read them.
Oh boy, that would be kind of stressful if it did. Okay, I try to go for a neat thing here. Do I get it? Can't remember. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah, where you just kind of skip the platforms rising up to push you up, where instead you swim. So this level we just entered, I got a really good spawn on it. This is one of the only levels where the 8 spawns, because this game supports 8-player co-op, they have to have 8 spawns on every level. The 8 spawns are really widely spread apart, so which ones you get actually determines whether you lose like up to 30 seconds. So that jump there is very unintended, and it gets you directly to the end of the level. So you want to
It
spawn as
should
close to
be
that as possible.
mentioned that due to recent developments, we have better chances of getting up
Yeah, we
to that
we did
area.
actually figure out a way to salvage the worst spawn that the game can give you by doing a little out of bounds up a ledge to reach the spot where you do that jump. And here I
Now,
actually kind of bailed out because I ran out of my clip of grenades. I was going to jump across to that little peninsula, but this
you would have
does not
landed
cost
in
much
the
time.
coolant. This is the rocket launcher of the level. The
Yeah, this
titular rocket launcher.
this level is named "If I had a rocket launcher, I'd make somebody pay," and sure enough, it gives you a rocket launcher at the end, so you can unleash carnage.
Bungie later made a reference to this level in Halo. I just forgot what the title of that one was.
Oh yeah, and I
Ooh.
actually made a mistake there and hit myself because I was looking at the ground. That wasn't supposed to damage me, but an alien walked into my way, and so I actually point blanked myself with a rocket.
Yeah, you normally
But it
count
didn't
to
really
eight, and
matter.
then you count to eight, then you shoot your rocket. And
Yeah, which is what I was doing. I just
I know stuff happens,
so here there's actually a slight difference in co-op where more items spawn, more weapons and stuff spawn, and occasionally there's other goodies. So this invincibility, you can see I'm shimmering. That means I'm invincible, and that invincibility only spawns in co-op.
Meanwhile, since this is multiplayer, we're not limited to the heartbeat bug of single player, so we just keep on going. If we were in single player, we would have to do an intentional death over there in the previous level.
Yeah, there's an engine bug where completing too many levels without saving and quitting or dying and reloading will make the game just lock up. But we get to avoid that. So this level is named "Begging for Mercy Makes Me Angry." We're turning off a giant AI, the Durandal AI, that is in the title of the game. And to do this, we have to hit 8 switches inside of 8 rooms, which open 8 panels in the center that have 8 huge circuits behind them that we have to smash. And once we smash the 8th one, we instantly teleport out to the next part of the game. And
And
this
we
is
split the
really
work.
involved. Having a good like parallel strategy for doing this is not easy to come up with, and it's very easy to get turned around in the center of the room of the level because the room is symmetric.
Yeah, there's only one thing that gives you a good idea other than the auto map, and it's a single terminal
Yeah,
in the main room. So in this level, we split the work between one person does 5 rooms and the other does 4 rooms. One person does five because two of them are literally right next to each other, so it makes sense to do it like that.
yeah.
Aperture is
So
doing a
I
fun
like
thing.
yeah, you have to take some damage here in order to hit the switch because you have to ride that elevator down into the coolant or whatever it is, plasma. Um, and you have to float out of it. And this level is low gravity, which makes that a bit easier, but it's still finicky to get out of liquid in this game's engine.
As you
Um,
can see, I'm doing that particular room at
yeah,
normal as well.
right. I should have mentioned that there's 8 rooms, but like they're in pairs that kind of mirror each other. So
Yeah.
you'll see what
The
look like the same rooms twice.
the only rooms that don't repeat, I think, are the first, the seventh, the third. That's it.
Yeah. So here he hits the last switch, and I shoot the last panel, and that instantly teleports us to Captured, which is the shortest chapter of the game. It's just this one level where we're stuck in jail, and
And we
here
beat each
we're
other
abusing.
senselessly.
Yeah, yeah, we have a little fight in jail, and the point of that is when you respawn on the next level, you'll have full health. But when you're taken to this level, you are reduced to only that sliver of health. So this is a
You
way to get more health for one player at the beginning of the next level at the cost of the
don't
time it takes for them to respawn.
don't forget you also spawn with a pistol as well.
That too, yes. But there's plenty of pistols on this level if you needed one. So here again, normally in the single player run, you'd have to do what I'm doing first and go hit 2 switches, which raise some stairs. But since we have 2 players, TB can go wait at those stairs while I go hit the switches that raise them.
And as a little safety precaution, I hit this switch right here. Normally
Yeah,
in the single
it
player
is
run, we
switch.
wouldn't hit
Yeah,
them.
it is skippable, but it that requires a little trick that's not super consistent.
The word sketchy would be a good word.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy. Has to do with kind of unusual behavior with how you bounce off of the floor when falling towards it at high speed. So
Alright, so I'm preparing to go for the triple. There are 3 compilers. If I miss all 3, then I get the triple.
oh, and you apparently
I got.
got it. You can see them spawning in above him, and
They won't
sometimes,
follow me though.
yeah, it's weird. Like when you trigger a spawn, it feels like there's a random amount of delay before it actually happens. So
There is a random amount.
sometimes they show up really quickly and block you, and sometimes they don't. So
Like, I
now
think
this level introduces in force the simulacrum bobs. So some of the green jumpsuit bobs are fake and have yellow blood and explode when they get near you. And the goal of this level is to eradicate them. Uh,
luckily they're easy to spot because they say the absolute dumbest things.
yeah, there's some of the most famous voice acting lines in this game are of what the simulacrum bobs say, like
Uh,
"Frog blast the
as
vent core,"
as
which
voiced by the wonderful Doug
Doug
Zartman.
Zartman, yeah, yeah,
Okay, so
it's
I'm hitting these 2
literal
switches
nonsense.
to kill a bunch of enemies so I don't have to deal with them. Woo.
Yep.
There's also extra
And then
shotgun ammo.
on co-op there is extra shotguns and extra shotgun ammo here, so he goes and picks that up because it's worth it. And that's the end of this level.
Now, there's another trick. I don't think we used it in this run, particularly with this level. It is done in the single player version,
Mm-hmm.
um, where you can effectively get the 2 area. Oh no, we don't do it because one of us goes to the other area. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, since we have 2 players, so this is another hit a bunch of switches level, and one of the switches is like all the way at the opposite end of the map from the start. So I'm going over to hit that while TB hits a closer one, and then I think he makes his way back to the terminal.
Yeah, because I'm closer. I just have to go out of a ledge and then go through 2 doors, and I'm effectively there.
Yeah, so he does a little rocket jump to skip having to walk around the hallway. It's quite easy. And then just takes this route that gets you back to the beginning. So at this point,
Ooh,
I've hit my switch.
there was a rogue grenade that went through me. Didn't
Oh,
hurt me, but it went through me.
cyborg grenade.
Yeah.
Yeah. So kill your television. That's the name of this level. Has some pretty weird water physics. There's connected bodies of water that are at radically different heights, which of course can't happen in real life. But
This level also has probably the best use of the rocket launcher,
yeah,
bar none.
yeah. This level features something we call the blue glass jump because blue glass, the legendary GDQ attendee, did come up with it. He spent some time writing this game, but has never submitted a run.
In the first game. Actually, I think he's routed all 3 games, but we only knew about the routes for the first 2 games.
Yeah. So here it is on TB's side coming up in just a second. He's
I
going
always get
to
excited
float
when I
up.
do it.
He's going to float up and fire 2 rockets down as soon as he gets out the water.
Oh,
Oh,
I wasn't getting high enough. You gotta make sure that the apex of your when you crest the water is high enough, or you're not gonna make it.
yeah. So that's
Like,
that, and that was actually very clean. Sometimes it'll force you too far into this room, and it wastes a second or two.
or sometimes it won't even let you get high enough, and then you gotta take a 30-second penalty.
Yeah. And
Just
then this was great timing. You can see he reached the terminal just after I hit the switch that I needed to reach. So
okay. This level has been greatly changed since
yeah, since we played
this
this, we
recording.
actually changed how we play this level. We found a cool out of bounds where you can basically warp from the basement all the way to the other part. This is an exploration level, which is why we're killing stuff. And this time the invincibility that he picked up under the lava is there in single player, and we use it to great effect to ignore exploding enemies.
We also use it for the out of bounds in the single player run.
Yeah, so this room he's in now is where we would do that. But as we said, this run was recorded a while ago, so we hadn't found that jump yet. And in
So,
co-op, it doesn't matter as much.
well, I don't know. In this level, I think out of bounds would greatly help because we can both tackle
It's
the upper
true.
part.
It helps us, yeah, double team the second part of the level. And actually, you'll see in this run we made a mistake and had to like we had 9 enemies left alive, and one of us had to go find one before we could actually leave. So that cost a little bit of time. You know, if we were practicing more for this, then we would come up with a more consistent route. So you can see I don't get the completion message, and then TB goes and finds some other enemy.
Hunts.
Yeah. It can be really frustrating to lose single player runs to this where you know try and do it fast and end up with 9 enemies or 10 enemies, and then
Now you see the fact that I see green bobs, but I don't shoot at them, because I don't want to anger the bobs that are in the level. Because regardless of difficulty, they deal the same amount of damage, and they
that's a
can
good
pack a
point.
wallop.
Yeah. So the Bobs have effectively hit scan pistols, and if you shoot too many of them in short succession, they'll start to get angry at you and shoot you. They also say some very amusing voice clips. Uh,
Okay, so
so this is shopping, as we've dubbed it.
yes.
It's a secret area full of floating weapons and ammo, and we need some more stuff to efficiently complete the end of the game. Namely, I think I didn't have a rocket launcher, and I needed one, and then we both needed health, so we float around here and grab that stuff. There's 4 levels left, right, after this?
Yeah. There's Recurring for Cyborg, Phantom, Fill the Noise, and Saul. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so 4 levels.
Now in the single player, this part of the run, the shopping thing has been virtually eliminated, but we use it for co-op just to be safe
Yeah.
because
Well,
there are
accessing 2 rocket launchers is kind of important so that we can complete the second to last level.
yeah, Feel the Noise.
Feel the Noise, which has 2 rocket jumps, and if we can do them in parallel, it saves a ton of time. So here, TB went and hit a switch that I needed to, or that I needed to wait for to have a door open, and then I'm going up these 2 towers. Each tower has a switch at the top of it that you need to hit before you can leave the level.
One of those towers has a window that is conveniently the same height as the player, and there's a chance
So you can
might
actually,
fly.
yeah.
And it's a soft lock if you do that.
Yep, if you fly out the window, you are stuck.
And trust me, I've tried getting back in.
You can,
Okay.
but only if you're invincible and you have a lot of ammo.
So the elevator I just got on is only activated by 4, which are the titular alien, the one I'm literally shooting at right now. You have to hit the switch next to the elevator. They can activate it by just walking on it. So
Yeah,
it's
and
very
depending
frustrating.
on random luck, sometimes the enemies will already be standing on it, and then as soon as they get activated, it triggers the elevator. So this is the last chapter screen of the game. These are the last 3 levels.
Okay.
The first one is this water level that has a lot more simulacrum bobs. Um, we kind of tackle this in sections.
I always do the first section by tradition, it
Yeah.
seems.
And so what he's going for here is hitting a switch that's going to activate the switch that I'm standing in front of, and then that'll open the door to lead to the next section. And then the same idea repeats again before reaching the last section that allows us to leave.
Now, it should be mentioned, by the time SGDQ would roll around, we should have some of the single-player strats integrated into this run, correct?
Yes. Certainly feel
So,
the noise. We should have assault rifle based
out of bounds.
out of bounds jumps integrated into the run. So you can see here, the shotguns do trigger switches, but for whatever reason, some switches really don't like to get activated by shotgun blasts. So I
Well,
shot multiple shells into that switch to no avail and then switched weapons.
here's the thing with weapons. Technically, they're not hit scan. They're technically projectile,
Yep.
technically,
Yeah,
because
even
the
bullet
shotgun,
weapons, even bullet weapons are not hit scan.
the
Uh,
except for Bob's,
no, the game doesn't support hit scan.
it doesn't support hit scan.
Nope. There
Oh
is a
wow.
maximum projectile speed. It's just quite fast.
So that would mean there's an actual bullet model.
Yeah, so okay. TB is about to do.
The
TB
first
just did
jump.
the first jump, and it's to hit this switch. Normally, the intended route is much longer to reach that switch.
Okay.
And now I'm
I'm
setting up for the second one. And I
and he
actually
out
got
of
a little
bounds.
got a little bit out of bounds there. You saw where like it started smearing the textures across the screen. That meant I was beneath the floor.
Now with the assault rifle, when you do it, you actually don't need to do the second rocket jump up to the second ledge because it just spits you right up at the top. So
Yeah. When we say out of bounds, it's not really like you get to, walk around outside the map. It's
yeah,
more that you get to sort of warp up tall ledges or warp through doors that
I,
you normally wouldn't be able to pass through.
I did mention that in some detail in my Affinity run. So it has to be a platform that you can actually land on. You can't go out of the map because it'll just crash spectacularly. Anyway, Aperture's doing a wonderful.
Yeah, that was a nice hover. This last level of the game features many hovers and jumps over lava, which it's very thrilling. You get to the end of this long run, and then it's this gauntlet of tight jumps over lava pools in order
Okay.
to finish it off. And now TB is waiting in the room full of circuit panels, and then once I enter the last room of the game, which is flooded with lava, he'll hit the switch that drains it of lava. And the intended way to do this is that you would hit them yourself and take a much longer route. And the way we do it in single player and time.
That's it.
So that was a 26:35.
26:35. Whew.
Yeah, pretty fast. Right, so the way that we do the last level in single player is actually to read that terminal while we're still under lava. You can get all the way through the terminal message and finish the game. You just have to mash the advanced keys very quickly. So,
And
luckily in co-op, we don't have to do that because we have a partner there to bail us out. So, just a cool little strat. Anyway, is there anything else you want to mention?
I think, other than the fact that this is, I don't know the right word. The run is obviously from January, and
Yeah.
by the time the event rolls around, the route could be radically different for all we know. But it should still be, for the most part, the same.
Yeah, it'll have the same structure. Obviously, we don't know how to skip any of these levels, so the only improvements we can make is finishing them better. But yeah, there's been some recent developments. I just improved the solo time from like a high 32 to a mid 31, and that can even go lower. You can see just how much time co-op saves if that's like a 26:30 with some mistakes, and my like very I would say pretty optimal solo run is 5+ minutes slower. So it
And
really does help. Really does help
for
quite a bit.
especially for a local game
Yeah.
with no lag to interfere.
Yeah, playing this same route with 300 milliseconds of ping makes it a little harder to get a good time.
Yeah,
to
because
say the
After
least.
lives in Washington, I live in North Carolina, so
Yeah, it's a bit far away. Also, that we're using netcode from 1994.
hastily duct taped together.
Yep. Yeah, originally this game you could only play over Apple Talk on a LAN. But when the cross-platform source port was released, they added internet support. Anyway, that was Marathon 2 Durandal on co-op two-player kindergarten, the easiest difficulty. And yeah, thanks for watching. We hope you consider it. Until next time.
Toodles.